Hey there, everybody, welcome to another game in the May Madness tournament. The previous game was an exciting one where Pittsburgh, in extra innings, fought off and held off the 2018 Red Sox to advance. Now we're going to move over to this region down here where the only game played so far was Oakland beating Philadelphia. And we're going to jump up here to the Brooklyn-St. Louis matchup, number 14 versus number 19. 55 Brooklyn against 67 St. Louis. The winner of that game will play the winner of the 75 Reds Big Red Machine and the 1992 Toronto Blue Jays. So let's look at the starting lineups for both teams and the bench players, bullpen, etc. for both teams. First for the visiting St. Louis Cardinals, because the Dodgers have the better record and better seeding. It'll be Lou Brock in left field, Curt Flood in center, Orlando Cepeda's at first, Roger Maris is in right. He will hit cleanup. Batting fifth is Julian Javier at second. Tim McCarver catches at sixth. Mike Shannon's at third, hitting seventh. Dow Maxfield's at short, batting eighth, and the DH Bob Tolan will bat ninth. And on the mound for the Cardinals, their big guy, Bob Gibson, 1967. He was 13-7 with a 2.98 ERA. And let's look at their bench and bullpen. So in case we get to that, we'll look at the Cardinal bench. And we have Alex Johnson available. We have Dave Ricketts, a backup catcher, Ed Spezio, and Phil Gagliano. And possible guys coming out of the pen, we have Joe Horner, who I believe was like their closer. He had 15 saves. Jack Lamabi, Larry Jaster, who's a starter but can be a reliever as well, because we're only going 3 starters deep in this tournament. Ron Willis, another reliever, and Al Jackson, who's a starter / reliever. He did have 1 save. So you got to have some. Back in '67, the pitchers kind of didn't have defined roles. They would do whatever the team needed. So that's what we're doing to make sure we have enough pitching. Okay, now let's look at the Brooklyn Dodgers lineup for this ball game to face Bob Gibson. Leading off will be the shortstop, Pee Wee Reese. Batting second at third base is Jackie Robinson. Duke Snider's in center. He will hit third. Roy Campanella is the catcher. He will bat cleanup. Gil Hodges is at first. He will hit fifth. The Reading Rifle, Carl Furillo, is in right field. He'll hit sixth. Sandy Amoros, who is best known for a nice catch he made on the left field line against the Yankees in the series, he will hit sixth. George Shuba is the DH. He will hit seventh. Jim Gilliam is at second. He will hit eighth. I'm sorry, he will hit ninth. I got confused on the numbers there. I guess I lost track. All right, and Don Newcomb is your starter. Don Newcomb, 20-5 with a 3.20 ERA in 1955. And let's look at their bench and bullpen. On the bench, they have possible pinch hitters and defensive players: Rube Walker, Don Zimmer, Don Hoke, and Frank Kellert. In their bullpen, potentially, you could have Clem Labine, Carl Spooner, Jim Hughes, Ed Roebuck, and Don Besant. So I admit I'm not that familiar with some of the Brooklyn Dodgers bullpen and bench guys. I'm familiar with their starters, but not with the bench guys. All right, so let's get the score sheet in here and ready to go. Get this game underway. A little backstop up there. We got our score sheet. Whoops, we got our score sheet. And let's make sure we can get everything where you can see it. I think that's going to work pretty good right there. Got the dice. Since Brooklyn's a higher seed, I gave them the blue dice. And then I got a red D20 for the Cardinals. So I don't have all the colors, but I got a few. So when they fit, I throw them in there. All right, so Don Newcomb is going to start things off. Getting his warm-up tosses, he'll be facing Lou Brock. So kind of old school today with this matchup, just the way it worked out. None of these matchups were planned. It was just done strictly by the seedings of their win-loss record. So it's just the way it turned out. Here we go. Lou Brock will be looking to get on and move. 4-7 off Newcomb, and he's going to strike out. So good start for Newcomb to keep the rabbit off the bases. You want to keep Brock and company off the bases. Brock's about the only one that can run there pretty well. Everything else is, although Tolan, I think, in 9 position can run as well. Here's Kurt Flood, 6'9" for Flood. And that's a possible home run chance right there on a 6'9", 1-16. And Kurt Flood has gone deep. And he has. So Kurt Flood, how about that? Turn that around. A solo shot for Kurt Flood, and the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead off of Don Newcomb. And the way Bob Gibson pitches, you never know. That could be enough. Here's Cepeda. 3-4 for Cepeda, and he's going to get hit by a pitch. Now, I wonder if that's coincidence. Right after the home run, we get a hit by pitch. I know old school baseball, that was, could have been, accepted practices. Today, that probably is going to be frowned upon. Cepeda is a B stealer. He will be held, but he will not try to run. Here's Roger Maris. 5-8 off of Newcomb. It's a ground ball first base B. It's a fielder's choice. Hodges will go to Pee Wee Reese at short for the force. And that puts Maris on first base. He's an E stealer. He will not be held. And Julian Javier, second baseman's up. 1-5. Ground ball to second. That's going to be handled over there by Gilliam, and that will do it. But the Cardinals pick up a run here in the first on the solo shot by Kurt Flood, of all people. And it's 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. Let me check Flood. How many home runs did he have? He only had 5, but it was enough. You know what? My bad. I did not read the card properly. He has weak power. So let me rephrase this. Let's take this out of here. So there is no runs in this game. So I'm glad I looked back at that. He had weak power, so he cannot hit a home run. How did I miss that? Well, I must be still half asleep or something. I don't know. But I'm going to go back in there and write a single in there. So they just had first and second, and so no runs are on the board at all. I'm just glad I caught that. Anybody's watching probably says, "What are you doing, dummy? He's got weak power. He didn't hit a home run." Well, it took me a second, but I think I got it correct now. So Bob Gibson won't have his 1-0 lead to work with, as Kurt Flood is not a home run hitter. All right, here's Pee Wee Reese, shortstop, leading things off against Bob Gibson. 4-8 for Gibson is a fly to right that's handled by Maris. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Jackie Robinson. 2-5 for Robinson. He will draw a leadoff, or not a leadoff, but a 1-out walk. He is a B stealer. You could check his numbers. McCarver, though, is a -1 arm. B stealer is a 13. Drops to a 10 for being held. And then -1's a 9, so they're not going to send him. He will be held, though, but with the big guys coming up, Duke Snyder and Campanella, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So here's the Duke. 4-11 off of Gibson. That's a fly to left, handled by Lou Brock. That's 2 down, but Campanella still has a chance to get it done. 2-5, and he might very well get it done. Look at this. 1-15 is a homer. 16-20 is a double. And that's gone. There's no weak power here. That's a definitive home run for Roy Campanella. And that's going to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead against Gibson. On the season, Campanella had 32 home runs. So definitely a power threat. That's why he's batting cleanup. Here's Gil Hodges. He did exactly what a cleanup man's supposed to do. Clean things up. Fly ball to left. Brock's got it off of Hodges' bat. But Brooklyn takes a 2-0 lead as we go to the second. So kind of turnaround there for Cardinals. They thought they had a run, and they really didn't, and then the Dodgers get 2. So maybe they can turn things around. Here's McCarver against Newcomb. 5-9 is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Pee Wee Reese. And Pee Wee defensively is a 2 at short. 2-12 is probably his error check, and it is, and he is an E28 on the advanced fielding chart. E28 and a 4. E28 and a 4 is a 1 base error, so booted by Pee Wee Reese. E6. So McCarver reaches on the error. He's a C stealer. He will be held, but he won't dare try anything. Here's Mike Shannon. 3-8 for Shannon, and that's a pop out to short. Column 3 is loaded, but 3-8's a pop out to Pee Wee, who this time does make the play. So there's one away. Here's Dow Maxfield. 5-11 off of Newcomb as a fly ball left field X. That is Sandy Amoros. And Amoros in left field is a 3. And that's a 19. That'll be a good play. 3 and a 19 will do it all day long. And there's 2 away for Bob Tolan. DH. 1-9. 1-9 for Tolan. He's going to ground to first. And Mr. Hodges will just step on the bag, make the easy play, and the inning's over. So the leadoff error by Pee Wee does not come back to bite him. We go to the bottom of the second, still 2-0 in favor of the Bums. And here's Bob Gibson. We'll be facing the Reading Rifle, Carl Furillo. And on the season, Furillo had 26 home runs, so a lot of power in this 55 Dodger lineup. They're going to be a tough out. It's kind of a shame they're only a 14 seed. They seem better than that, but just the way it worked out. 3-4, and as soon as I say that, Reading Rifle 3-4, that's a solid home run. Bob Gibson just shook his head. He knew he hung it, and Furillo deposited it, and it's 3-0 Dodgers. And it could be a long afternoon for Bob Gibson. 1-7 is he's going to come back and strike out Amoros. That's 1 away for the DH, George Shuba. 5-11. He's going to fly to left. Lou Brock's got it. 2 down. And number 9 hitter, Jim Gilliam. 4-5. Switch hitter batting left. It's ground ball shortstop X. That's Dow Maxfield. And we'll check Maxfield's defensive rating. Dow Maxfield checks in as a 2 with an E21, but a 2 is the main number. 2 and an 8 at short is going to be an error check, so we go to an E21 for the shortstop. That's a 5. E21 and a 5 is a 1 base error. So with this advanced defensive rate, using the advanced rules, that we seem to be getting a whole lot. At least I seem to find it's a whole lot more errors than super advanced. Maybe even more than basic, I don't know. But for whatever reason, these charts just seem to lead to more errors. So I think that's why when I'm doing most of these games, I do the hybrid. But today, for this tournament, I wanted to do strictly advanced to see how it played. All right, here's Pee Wee Reese after the error. Keeps the inning going. 2-11. That's a foul out to McCarver to end the inning. But the run comes home on the Furillo homer. Go to the third. It's 3-0 Dem Bums over Gibson and the Cardinals. So now Newcomb's got a 3-run lead to protect. Back to the top of the order for the Redbirds, and it will be Lou Brock. 4-4. Fly ball center field X, that is going to be the Duke Snyder. And the Duke is a 1, so any kind of range check, he'll get to it. But a 1 and 11 is most likely an error check. And it is. And the Duke is an E5, so hopefully he can survive an E5. There's a 3, E5 and a 3, but he cannot. Does it again. E5 and a 3 is a 2-base error. So again, I maybe should have not done the advanced fielding, but I've already started, so it's too late now to worry about it. I got to be consistent, or I need to be consistent. So it's a 2-base error on the Duke. And Newcomb hoping to have it out there, but it didn't happen. And here's Curt Flood, who had that, what we thought was a home run, but it's not really. 4-8, but he will get a base hit, a second of the game. 1-13 is a double. 14-20 is a single. Whoops, let's roll it where you can actually see it. To 10, so that's a double. So Curt Flood will have an RBI double as Brock comes in to score. It's an unearned run, and I'll put in the single from what he had last time. It's an unearned run, but they'll take it. Cardinals on the board, 3-1 now. Still nobody out, and Flood is at second. He will not be held, though. Cepeda, 5-6 against Newcomb. He's going to strike. I'm sorry, 5-6. Yeah, he's going to strike out. I was looking at 6-5, or 6-6 was a strikeout, but so was 5-6. So Cepeda's gone either way for out number 1. And that brings up Roger Maris. 6-7 against a lefty. A 1 is a single. Anything else, he lines it right to Gil Hodges. And that's what we have. He lines it to Hodges for out number 2. And now it's all up to Julian Javier. 6-11. That's a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So the run comes in. It's unearned, but they'll take it. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 3-1 Dodgers. Gibson back out. And both these pitchers, Newcomb has a 9 for his fatigue, and Gibson has an 8. So we could get complete games out of this, depending on how effective they are. Here's Jackie Robinson. He walked and scored his first trip. 4-10. This time he will strike out. Gibson gets him. Struck him out. Brings up the Duke. This game is loaded with Hall of Famers. 1-7 for the Duke. Duke has a great column 1. 1-8 was a homer, but 1-7 he's going to fly to center field and flood. Ranges back to make the catch. 2 down, and here's Campanella, who homered. Had a big 2-run homer his first time up. 6-9 off of, he might do it again, 6-9 off of Gibson, but it's only a 1-2. But a 1-2 is a homer. Anything else will be caught by Brock at the track. And it is, so Gibson escapes that. 1-2-3 inning. And we go to the fourth. Still 3-1 Brooklyn. And now we come to Don Newcomb facing Tim McCarver. McCarver reached on a Pee Wee Reese error his first time up. 3-11 this time around. He's going to ground it to third, and Jackie Robinson up to the task. 1 away. Here's Mike Shannon. 1-9 for Shannon, and he's going to strike out. So Shannon with the strikeout. 2 up, 2 down for Dow Maxfield. We get a 1-8, and that's going to be a 2-out walk to Maxfield. And that will bring up Bobby Tolan. Maxfield will not be held as an E-stealer. Tolan, 3-8. He's going to ground it to first. Again, easy play, just like he did the first time up he grounded to first. Again, Gil Hodges steps on the bag. And that's going to do it. Make short work of the Cardinals here in the fourth. To the bottom of the fourth, still 3-1 Dem Bums. And Gil Hodges will lead things off. He flew to left his first trip. 2-12. This time he's going to fly to left again. Would have been a home run check in super advanced, but not here in advanced. Here's Carl Furillo. He did homer. He rolled a 3-4 and got that definitive home run last time up. This time it's a 1-7. He's going to fly to center. Flood has that. 2 down for Sandy Amoros. Struck out his first chance. 6-7. And he's going to ground it to second. Javier will have to make the play on this. And Javier checks in defensively as a 2 E30. So a 2, you want to get the 2. You don't want to go to an E30. But he will. 2-11 is going to go to an error check. So an E30. Most likely it's going to be an error. 6. E30 and a 6 is once again a 1-base error. So yet another error. So now I've realized why I never did the advanced fielding in the past. Because of exactly this situation that keeps coming up. It seems like the range check fails and it leads you to the errors, and the errors are awful high. So here's Shuba. 4-5. Ground ball shortstop X. So now we're at Maxfield, checking Maxfield's error. And Maxfield's range is a 2 E21, so you want to get that range check in. 2 and a 9. He will not do it. It's an error check, E21. And a 9, E21 and a 9. This time it's a good play, ground ball A. So inning's over. They avoid getting the second error of the inning. We go to the fifth. It's still 3-1 Brooklyn. And Don Newcomb will be facing the top of the order, Lou Brock. It'll be Brock, Flood, and Cepeda to start the fifth against Newcomb. 3-2 is a ground ball to first. And again, Gil Hodges getting a lot of work over there on ground balls. There's one away. Brings up Kurt Flood. Singled and doubled. 5-11. This time he's going to fly to the left, but will the left fielder Amoros be able to get it? Let's see. I believe Amoros is a 3. And that is a 15. That should be a good play. Just double check that. 3 and a 15 should be a good play. Check the chart. Whoops. Let's check the chart here. 3 and a 15 is a good play. It's fly ball C. That's good enough with nobody on base. So thank goodness there was no error check on that. Flood is gone. 2 down for Orlando Cepeda. 3-3 for Cepeda. He's going to have a 2-out single. Keeps the inning going. He's a B stealer. He will be held, but he will not run. Campanella's arm, like I said, is a -4, so not a whole lot of running against Campanella. 6-6 for Roger Maris. Newcomb against Roger Maris. Ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning as Gilliam makes the play. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 3-1 Brooklyn. That 2-run dinger by Campanella in the first may hold up the way Newcomb's pitching. So we'll see. Jim Gilliam's going to lead things off here in the 5th. 5-4. Switch hitter batting left. 5-4. Ground ball third base X. That's Shannon. Let's see what Shannon can do. Shannon, 4 E37, so not very good in either aspect. Although a 4 and a 17, I think will do it. And it will. Ground ball B. So good enough there for Shannon to avoid a potential error. So back to the top of the order for Pee Wee. 4-8 for Pee Wee against Gibson. It's going to fly to right, and Maris has got it. So now Gibson has settled down since those first 2 innings, but not getting the run support he needs. There's Jackie. 6-4 for Jackie Robinson. Catcher X, that's going to go to McCarver. And McCarver checks in as a 2E1, so should be okay on that, I would think. A 2 and a 9. Let's see. 2 and a 9 is an error check, and he's an E1, so that should not be an issue. E1 and a 10 is a ground ball C, so a little dribbler in front of the plate that Carver pounces on and gets Jackie, who's not quite as fast as he used to be by the time 1955 rolled around. So Jackie is out of there. All right, so we go to top of the 6th. Julian Javier to lead it off against Don Newcomb. Never fails, it seems. Every video I drop the dice at least once. Almost like a tradition or something. 3-6 for Javier. Struck him out. 1 away, and that brings up Tim McCarver. 3-8 for McCarver. And he's going to ground. Boy, they're just giving Gil Hodges all kinds of work over there at first base on these ground ball A's. So 2 down for Mike Shannon. 5-9. Ground ball shortstop X. And that, again, is Pee Wee Reese. That's a 3. Let's see, Pee Wee, I believe, was a 2. Yes, he's a 2. A 2 and a 3 is a ground ball C. So Pee Wee was just able to get to it and make the play to end the inning. Keeps away from that error check, which is so dastardly. So now we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Duke Snyder. 110 for Snyder, and that's a solid home run right there, no doubt about it. His column 1 is loaded. He found it. It is gone, and it's 4-1 Brooklyn. And Bob Gibson, dejection on the mound, personified, down 4-1, giving up his 3rd home run of the game. Here's Campanella. 2-3 for Campanella. He just missed a home run. That's a single. So Gibson, you wonder if he's 3rd time through the order is getting to him. Gil Hodges, 1-3. Ground ball first base C. That will advance the runner. Is all Cepeda could do is step on the bag, but that's going to move Campanella to 2nd. Campanella, by the way, I don't think is being held. He's a D stealer. No, he's not being held. Here's Carl Ferrillo, one of the home run boys. 6-11. That's a single to left field. Now, the question is, can Campanella score? He only runs at a 10. Let's check Brock's arm. Brock's arm is a +1, though, and he's not being held, so that makes him a 12. 1-12, or do you put runners at the corners? Or, I'm sorry, do you have bases? Yeah, runners at the corners and 1 out. They're going to do runners at the corners and 1 out. They're not going to take a chance. They're going to let Sandy Ambrose see what he can do. 4-9 against Gibson, and that's a single to right field. So Gibson may be done here as Campanella trots in to score. And the single went to right, so let's check Maris's arm. Let's take a look here on Maris. He's a -2 arm, so Furillo's going to hold up at second base. So that brings up George Schuba. Score is now 5-1. We're going to see if Gibson can pitch his way out of this. 5-8, and he strikes out Schuba for out number 2. He is not tired yet. You have to give up 6 runs to be tired for the 5-1 inning. So he's only at 5 right now, so he's not tired yet. Here's Gilliam. 6-5, struck him out. So Gibson, they showed confidence in Gibson, and it paid off to finish the inning. But it's a 5-1 game, and it's looking bleak for the boys in red, as them Bums have a 5-1 lead. And Don Newcomb is your batter, or your pitcher rather, facing Dow Maxwell. 3-7 for Maxwell, ground ball to short. Pee Wee right on top of it, 1 away, and here's Bob Tolan. 2-6 for Tolan, and that's a 1-6 home run chance. 7-20, he flies to right, and he flies to right. Carl Furillo makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down, and here's Lou Brock. 1-8, he hasn't had a chance to use his speed in this game. He pops out to second. So when you don't get on, it's kind of hard to use your speed. He got on a 2-base error, but he wasn't going to steal third. So that's going to end the inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Still 5-1 Brooklyn. And let's see about Gibson. They may just go ahead and give Gibson the rest of the day off, as it's 5-1 and it may not matter. So we're going to go to our bullpen, and they're going to go to Ron Willis, who had 10 saves on the season. He had a 2.67 ERA and 10 saves. So they're going to go to Ron Willis. What you talking about, Willis? And that's what they're going to do. So Willis will be on for Gibson, as Gibson goes 6 and gives up 5 runs. All of them earned on 3 home runs. So really some rough times there. See how many hits he gave it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits I've got him for unofficially. All right, so Pee Wee Reese steps in against Ron Willis. 6-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. That's going to be Javier. That's a 6, so that should be okay. Javier, I believe, is a 2 if I wrote it down correctly. Yes, he is. 2 and a 6 is a good play. It's ground ball A. So that's 1 away. Brings up Jackie. 6-3 off of Ron Willis as a ground ball to short, and that's handled by Maxwell easily. 2 up and 2 down. And that's going to bring up Duke Snyder. The Duke, 1-7. Oh, he just missed another home run. This time he flies to center. I think he's hit that a couple of times. Back in the third, he hit that same, I believe he hit that same 1-7 roll, and then he got the 1-8 roll here, but now he's back to a 1-7, so just a deep fly that Curt Flood puts away. We go to the 8th. Newcomb, large and in charge, and he will be facing Curt Flood to start the 8th. 5-1 Brooklyn lead. 5-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. That's going to be Furillo, and I'm pretty sure he's a 1 without even looking, because he was such a good fielder. He was. He's a 1 and a -5 arm. So top-notch right fielder. An 11, though, is going to go to his error rating, so let's check his error rating. He's an E6. So we'll check the outfield for E6. And that's a 3. That could be interesting. E6 and a 3. And it's a 2-base error again. E6 and a 3 is a 2-base error on Furillo. So there's where that advanced fielding that's getting to me again. So public service announcement. If you want to do something with Strat, stay away from advanced fielding. That's my public service announcement. All right, so Curt Flood reaches on a 2-base error by Furillo. Here's Cepeda, 4-12 against Newcomb, and that is a fly to left. Out number 1. I'm going to bring up Roger Maris. 6-8 for Roger Maris against Newcomb, and that's a single 2 stars. So that will score the run. Again, it's an unearned. Both runs against Newcomb have been unearned thanks to errors. Cuts the lead to 5-2, so it's not over yet, folks. Roger Maris is an E. He will not be held. Javier, 5-11. Fly ball left field X. And now we're looking at Amorose, who's a 3. Anytime you get an X chance, anything's liable to happen. A 3 and 18, though, will be a good play. Amorose will make that 2 down. And that brings up McCarver. 6-5 against the lefty. It's a fly to right. Handled by Furillo this time with no issues. But both runs Newcomb has given up have been unearned thanks to errors by Duke Snyder and Carl Furillo in the outfield. Has caused those. And then also Pee Wee's had an error. So 3 errors by the Brooklyn Dodgers in this game. And here's Willis. He will continue to pitch as he's going to face Campanella. 1-9 for Campy, and it's a strikeout. So 1 away, and that brings up Gil Hodges. 2-9 for Hodges. Damage done. 1-5 is a triple. 6-20 is a single, and that is a single for Gil Hodges. 1-out single. He's an E-stealer. Will not be held. Furillo. 1-8 for Furillo. Ground ball shortstop A, there's a plus sign there, but with the righty up, the second baseman's holding, not the shortstop. So it is a good 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So we go to the 9th. And I think they're going to go ahead and let Newcomb try to finish this thing out, although they do have action in the bullpen just in case to the Dodgers. Let's see who their closer was. Ed Roebuck had 12 saves, but his ERA is not very good. Let's see who else is out there. Jim Hughes had 6. Their bullpen is just not. Clem Labine had 11 saves with a 3.24 ERA. So you could go with him. He's in the bullpen warming up, but they're going to give Newcomb a chance to finish what he started. Old school baseball going for the complete games. Now, the Cardinals will get some pinch hitting activity because they don't want Dal Maxfield to hit. So they're going to have a pinch hitter. Well, they don't have a whole lot on the bench, to be quite honest. All their bench players are like 200 hitters. Ricketts is 273, so we'll let him hit for Maxwell. But first things first, we got Shannon. 3-7, and Shannon gets some damage done here. 1-2 is a double. 3-20 is a single. And that's a single for Shannon to lead off the 9th. And that is 1 mark against the point of weakness. Now, Maxwell, the scheduled hitter, only a 227 hitter. He will be replaced by Dave Ricketts, and Ricketts a 273 hitter. He's the backup catcher, but you're in the top of the 9th in a single elimination tournament. So you got to do what you got to do. If they make it go to the bottom of the 9th, they'll figure something out. They'll put, they have a backup shortstop they can use in Phil Gagliano. So if they really had to go that route, they could do that. Right now, here's Ricketts, switch hitter batting left. 412, and that is a potential home run. Ricketts does have normal power. So 1-8 would be a 2-run pinch hit homer. 1-8, and we got an interesting ball game. And we do. Dave Ricketts, a 2-run pinch hit home run. Talk about pulling the right lever on the strategy wheel. He did it right there. Cardinal manager did it. Ricketts, the 2-run homer, and all of a sudden now Newcomb is going to need relief. That's going to be all for him, and Clem Labine is going to come in and try to earn his meal money. Newcomb goes 8+ and is now giving up 4 runs. Those 2 are finally earned. The other 2 were unearned. Faces 35 batters, and now Clem Labine, it's a 5-4 ball game. So 1 more run, and we go into the bottom of the 9th. So here's Tolan to lead it off. After that homer, 4-8 against the lefty, and that's a walk. So Clem Labine walks the tying run. Tolan's a B stealer, but again, you got Campanella behind the plate, so very unlikely to do anything with that. He will be held though. So here's Lou Brock. Lou Brock, a 2-9. Ground ball shortstop B. It's a fielder's choice, 6-4, but now you have something interesting. You got strength against strength. Lou Brock is at first. He's a AA stealer. AA start at 17. You lose 2 from being held, make him a 15. And then Campanella is a -4, makes him an 11. But that's better than 50-50 chance. So they're going to send Lou Brock and see what they can do here. Try to get him in scoring position. And it's a 19. He's caught stealing. So Campanella fires it down there to Pee Wee Reese, and that's it for Lou Brock. He had 52 stolen bases on the season, caught 18. This was one of the caughts. So now the bases are empty with 2 outs. It's up to Kurt Flood. 5-7, ground ball to short. That's going to do it. In fact, it would have been a double play had we not sent him because of the shortstop A. So it really wouldn't have mattered one way or the other. He would have hit into a double play, and people would have been wondering why I didn't try to steal with Brock. So, hey, I got the 2-run pinch hit homer, so give me something on that. So I was trying, obviously I have no skin in the game with these two teams, so I'm playing it how I think the managers would play it on both sides. And Brooklyn holds on for a 5-4 win. Newcomb the winner, Labine the save, Gibson the loss. So turned out to be a closer game than perhaps it seemed earlier on. But the Dodgers hang on to win it 5-4. And now we will bring out the bracket and update that with the Brooklyn win. So now Brooklyn awaits the winner of the Big Red Machine 75 Reds versus the 92 Toronto, a 3 seed versus a 30 seed. So if Cincinnati wins that game, you got a very interesting matchup. Brooklyn against Cincinnati. They cannot use Don Newcomb again because not for a couple of starts, because you got to rotate your starters. So they're looking probably, let's see who their other starters are. I don't know if it's Carl Erkson or somebody else. Let's see. Johnny Padres, perhaps. No, he's not that great. Let's look at Carl. Yeah, Carl Erkson was 11-8 with 3.79 ERA. So could go Billy Lowe's, could go Carl Erkson. Probably going to be Erkson, but we'll wait and see how it plays out. But that's going to do it for this round. Not this round, but this particular game in the first round, as the Cardinals fall to Brooklyn. And the next game on the schedule, I've got them all written out in order that I wanted to play them in. And so the next game is going to take us to this upper quadrant, or upper region. And we're going to have the 61 Yankees. Just had Roger Maris. He's going to be in there again against the 2015 Kansas City Royals with that great bullpen. So if Kansas City can somehow sneak a lead and they use that bullpen, they might be able to take out the Yankees, but you never know. We'll see. If Kansas City did happen to do that, they have a chance of playing the 16 Cubs. So you have some modern teams there. But right now it's Jordana Ventura for the Royals against Whitey Ford for the Yankees. And that's the next game in the schedule in this single elimination May Madness tournament here at the beginning of April, while all the COVID stuff is going on, hopefully providing a little bit of entertainment for those, especially those that, like myself, and like many, who were told to stay indoors, working from home. And unfortunately, some people have lost their jobs because of that, but hopefully that will turn around soon. So hopefully this is a glimmer of entertainment that helps you guys out, along with some other channels that are putting out videos and entertaining us. Too many to name. If I start naming them, I'm going to forget somebody and I'll offend them. So I'm just check them all out. I mean, anybody that's got a channel putting computer or board games on their channel, support them. Give them some views, give them some likes, give them some encouragement. Let them know you enjoy what they're doing, and let them know that it's helping you get through these times. So until next time, hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we will see you all down the road.